loves, I have some information for you for our Y packet this week because there's a lot in it, and some of the things we want y'all to be able to know what our objective was for each activity. So I'm gonna start with the frog. Trace the numbers 1 to 10. Have them cut the perimeter of the frog out. There's a line there for them to follow. And then glue it, and what we did was we would use a pencil or a crayon and curl the tongue so it's a little bit like a frog with the tongue sticking out. And the objective was to trace the numbers, the cutting, all those things. There is some supplies in there to create their own castle because we're in Germany, lots of castles in Germany if you want to go online and look at the castles. They're beautiful. And we gave you 2 long rectangles, 1 thick, fatter rectangle, a door for their castle door. And one thing that we do is we talk about how to draw stones or rocks and how easy that is. You know, this is just straight lines, divide it with other lines. If you want to do that, it's fun. We tell them to draw themselves or a princess in the window, and they like to do that. And that is just for their creative opportunity and fun. And my yummiest dinner, this would have been a pass-around book. Let them draw what their yummiest dinner might be, and then you can write words for them to see how the words are spelled as pre-reading, and just create what their yummiest dinner would be, and then maybe you can have it for dinner that night or something like that. Tassel dot to dot, self-explanatory. Their yellow Y, they can color it yellow and glue the yarn on. There's yarn in your packet. This is measuring of standard measure, and it says yardstick measuring. So if you have a yardstick, if you don't, you can just draw out what a yardstick would be. And we want to know how many, for example, this says school boxes. So what we would have them do, we aren't measuring how long a school box is, we're seeing how many school boxes will be the length of the yardstick. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're talking about rounding off. Do we need another school box? No, because there's only a little bit left. That type of thing. And then they count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right there 4. You can dot the number for them to trace if you'd like. Needless to say, you might not have school boxes. You can change that and make it anything you want, and just give them a bowl full or a bunch and ask them. The pencils don't have to be the same length. Just some way to help them do standard measure, compare how many pencils to how many boxes. It gives them a feel for how much volume something takes up. Yippee, the yellow yak is what our song is about. So we had them color it or paint it or marker it, however you'd like them to do it yellow, and then cut the perimeter. Again, we have a dark line around it, because we would lose legs and horns if we didn't. And then to glue, I will say when you glue things like this, you know, it's almost good to have some separate lines, because if they just throw it all on, when you pick it up, it all falls off, and that's no fun. And so that's Yippee the Yellow Yak. That's what our song is about this week. On this page, we had them, and you each have yellow strips, 2 short and 1 long in your packet, and we had them stamp some Y's, which y'all probably don't have, but they can write Y's if they'd like. And then we had them illustrate some pictures of things that started with the y sound. Yarn, this is a yo-yo, this is a yam. So just different things that they can think of that start with a Y. And since we were in Germany for Y, this is our cuckoo clock, because they're a very important part in the Black Forest of something that Germany is known for. So the pieces are there for you. You'll need to cut out the triangle. The doors are already glued on for the cuckoo clock. You have a little cuckoo there that you fold like a fan, accordion, to glue just the end. And then there's a clock we don't really talk about telling time much. Our objective was more to trace the letters and cut the circle. And there's a brad in there for you and your hands. I usually, for this project, I cut my black hands of construction paper to make them a little more sturdy. There are hands there on the piece of paper, but you can cut your own if you want. And then our Yes I Can book. I'm gonna send you, as part of our Why introduction, a Yes We Can book. And our objectives on this book was repetitive reading. Can you draw a balloon? And so you have them illustrate the page for them. And if they go, no, I can't, you just break it down into small. Can you draw a circle? Yes. Can you draw a squiggle from the circle? Yes. See, you can draw a balloon. So break it down for them to help them feel good about what they can draw, because there is a kitty cat, and from experience, this example, they can do it. Say, look up at the top. Can you draw a rectangle? Yes. So, and then after they finish illustrating it, you can direct them in their reading of a repetitive book. And you say, can you draw a balloon? Yes, I can. So you might read it through for them once, and then have them read the title on the front, and then read each page for you. And they're just so excited because they can read a book. And are they reading it? Are they memorizing? What's important is they feel like they can read a book, and it's a repetitive book. And that's the first step towards reading independently. So it's very important to them, and makes them just, they know they're amazing. So, and gives them hope, because they all want to read so bad. So do this with them, and they will appreciate that and love it. And one more thing, just a minute, let me get some scissors. Making sure that you guys work with the scissors correctly. I mean, I know, anyway. So what I always told them was small circle on the top, hold it like this, and shake hands with the scissors. You can, if you want to, you can put a little happy face on the top if they're forever doing this. You can put a little happy face on the top of the scissors where the small hole is, or their initial, or your last name initial, something to help them go, oh, that's the top. And then, you know, thumb in the small hole, fingers in the big hole, and just clip, 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 clip. And that will help them know what's the top of the scissors. That's a good tool. So, love you guys, miss everybody, and hope this is helpful for your Y activities. Bye-bye.